In the current political climate, few scandals reveal the rot at the core of our political system more starkly than the storm engulfing Keir Starmer. The allegations, the video, the fallout. Each element has compounded, leaving us with one undeniable conclusion. Keir Starmer's political career is not just in peril, it is terminal. The public is right to demand answers, but more importantly, it is right to demand an end to the illusion that those in power can hold themselves to one standard while playing by another. This scandal is not just about Starmer's personal failures. It is a searing indictment of a political establishment that has repeatedly shown it is above reproach until the cameras turn on. For years, Keir Starmer has built his career on an image of moral integrity, positioning himself as the politician who would steer the Labour Party away from scandal and back into the arms of the British public. But the events of recent days have made it clear, this carefully curated image was always a facade, a thin veneer to mask the realpolitik at play behind the scenes. A man who professed the importance of truth and transparency is now caught in a web of deception, public and private, and the public is demanding an explanation. When Jim Davidson released the CCTV footage implicating Starmer in a compromising situation, the political world was thrown into turmoil. Whether Davidson's motivations were purely self-serving or whether he truly believes in exposing political hypocrisy is irrelevant. What matters is that Davidson's actions forced Starmer's personal and political crises into the public eye, and in doing so, he illuminated a truth we can no longer ignore. Starmer has failed to live up to the ideals he has preached. The shockwaves from this release are reverberating through the corridors of power, and they are not going to fade away anytime soon. The decision of Starmer's wife, Victoria, to leave him in the wake of the scandal speaks volumes. It's one thing to suffer the consequences of your actions in the political arena, but it is another entirely to have your own spouse publicly declare the end of their commitment to you. This is not just a personal betrayal for Starmer, it is a public act of repudiation that echoes far beyond the confines of their marriage. Victoria's departure sends a powerful message. Even those closest to him can no longer stand by a man who has compromised his integrity in such a public way. The personal toll on Victoria, thrust into a national spectacle she never asked for, is as devastating as it is revealing. It's easy for the public to forget that behind every scandal is a human cost, but Victoria's decision to walk away exposes the emotional wreckage left in the wake of Starmer's choices. The most glaring question in this scandal is whether Starmer can ever recover from the political devastation he now faces. For some, the answer is simple, no. His position is untenable. A leader's credibility is built on trust, both in their political competence and in their personal integrity. Starmer's reputation has now been irrevocably damaged on both fronts. How can we trust a man to lead the country when he has shown such disregard for the values he claims to uphold? The public will not forgive him easily, nor should they. This is not simply about the personal indiscretions of a leader, this is about the erosion of the very principles that underpin our democracy. When a politician who prides themselves on moral fortitude is exposed as a hypocrite, the damage extends far beyond the individual. It undermines the trust of the electorate in the very system they are expected to support. It would be naive to ignore the broader implications of this scandal. Starmer's downfall is not an isolated incident, it is symptomatic of a much deeper problem within the political establishment. Our leaders often operate in a bubble, insulated from the consequences of their actions, with little regard for the impact their decisions have on ordinary citizens. The political class's arrogance, its sense of entitlement, is exactly what Starmer's scandal exposes. It is the belief that they are above the law, above reproach, and that the public will continue to look the other way as long as the machine keeps turning. This scandal, like so many before it, is a reminder that the public's patience is finite. We will not continue to tolerate this level of disregard for the very principles of accountability and integrity. But it is not just Starmer who must answer for his actions. The broader political class must be held to account. If Starmer is to face the consequences of his betrayal, then so must the others who believe they can operate with impunity. We cannot continue to allow a system that rewards those who are willing to sacrifice moral responsibility for political gain. This scandal should serve as a warning to anyone who believes that they can live outside the bounds of the very standards they impose on the rest of us. In the end, the real question is not whether Starmer can recover from this scandal, it's whether the political system itself will ever change. Will we allow those who have broken the public's trust to continue wielding power unchecked? Or will this be the moment when the public says enough is enough and demands leaders who truly represent the values they claim to uphold? The choice is ours. And if we allow this scandal to fade without real change, we are complicit in the erosion of the trust that should be the cornerstone of our democracy. Keir Starmer may have thought he could weather this storm, but the damage is done. His political career is in tatters, and with it, the credibility of the system he represents. We should not just mourn the loss of a leader, we should use the scandal as a clarion call for a deeper, more meaningful reckoning with the political class as a whole. The time for complacency is over. The time for accountability is now.